All right, in this video here, we're going to talk about advertising and setting up ads for your products on TikTok Shop. So the way you'll navigate here is if you're in Seller Center, you'll come over here to marketing and come down to ads, and then you'll go ahead and click on create campaign. Next, to make sure that the Spark ad or the video from the creator is in your creator library, you want to come up here to tools and then click on creative library. And this is how you can make sure that the video you want to run ads on does show up in there. And so this is how you're going to be able to boost the post, right? So the post should show up in here. As long as it does show up, you should be able to boost it, no problem. So to go ahead and create a new ad, if you're here on the dashboard, you can then just choose create an ad. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to click on select product sales, and you're going to select on TikTok Shop. And then you'll also want to go ahead and set your name. So you probably want to name it, something around the creator's post that you're sponsoring or the product and the date that you're boosting it. So that way you can have some sort of like measurement or tracking to know like what it is that you're promoting. So next you'll choose either video shopping ads or live shopping ads, right? So for the most part, you're going to do a video shopping ad. If you go live, that's something you can do. You can also hire creators go live too. But if you want to do live shopping ads, that's something that you need to schedule 48 hours in advance, at least 48 hours in advance. And so that way it gives TikTok time to be able to optimize the traffic that they'll need in order to get people to join your live. So live ads, they're great for TikTok because they can help build your community and they can help you to connect with your audience a lot more. There's a lot of people that sell a lot off of ads or lives. We've had some success with lives, but it's still something that we're figuring out. I think it's more product or brands. I think it's mostly product specific. Like a lot of times you'll see people selling wigs that are doing lives practically like 24/7. And there's also people that are looping lives. Technically you're not supposed to, but you do see that happening. So you can run, if you are going to do a live, you can run ads to it. It's just something you have to schedule 48 hours in advance. All right. So next you're going to choose, if you have an audience, you can you can select that audience. But if you don't have one, probably starting out, you don't. So just leave this blank. For the most part, what you want to do is you want to leave everything really, really broad, or as broad as you can when you first start, because you want the algorithm to work with you. You want the TikTok's algorithm, to help you find your ideal customer. But in the future, once you've already had some sales and you have enough data to be able to build up an audience, you'll definitely want to. So to do that, you'll click this drop down here. This will show up, and you're going to click create new, and then any audience that you've created previously is going to show up here as well. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to choose what the custom audience or lookalike audience looks like. So you're probably going to choose shop activity for the most part, because that's really what we're doing, is we're looking at shop activity. And so you'll be able to choose an event. Do you want people who have seen your product page, add a cart, initiate checkout, or completed payment, right? So if you're doing a lookalike audience, you're probably going to want to do a complete payment over the last 30, 60, or even 90 days. If you're looking to run retargeting ads, right, you can do that on people that have viewed your detail page over the last 30, 60, 90 days, who have added a cart over the last 30, 60, 90 days, and even initiated checkout but didn't complete it, right? So you're able to run retargeting ads for each one of those groups. All right. Coming back to the ad section, you can select your demographic for the most part. Again, like when first starting out, you want to leave it pretty broad. But if you know your product is only geared towards males, select males. If it's only geared towards females, select females. Same thing with the age demographic. You probably leave it as is. run some ads and let's get some data first before we go ahead and making decisions around who we're going to target. So you do have to select some interest, but again, this is something that we recommend leaving fairly broad. So maybe selecting an overall category to start. So in our experience, where the real benefit and where the real magic happens when it comes to running ads on TikTok is with what they call hashtag interactions, which is probably something you're not really familiar with. And so I'll go ahead and explain to you what that is. So we found that hashtag interactions tend to be a very effective form of targeting. And so what you're going to do is once you have some videos that have been running, hopefully you've had some viral videos or some videos that have gotten decent engagement. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start to look at the profiles of all the people who comment on the video. So once we had a video go super viral and had over 10,000 people comment on it, and so we had our team go through and look at about half of the profiles of everybody who commented on the video. And so what we started to do is we started to understand better who our audience is. What type of people actually purchase our product. Are they single? Are they married? Are they males, females, construction workers? Are they, just regular people? Do they have kids? Are they young kids or older kids? Are they empty nesters? Are they retired? Right. And so what this allows us to do is this allows us to build up, a big database of information about who our target customer is. And so, we found that if we put about 50 to 75 hashtags on the hashtags interactions we had great results on our video or on our ads that we were running. So we wanted a follow campaign after we did this to use this information, and we had a 23% click-through rate on that follow campaign. Typically for most follow campaigns it's like 1 to 5%, but our follow rate was like 23%. We were getting followers for as cheap as like 3 cents a follow. And we found that like the secret to running really cost effective, super targeted ads on TikTok comes down to this hashtag interaction. So you'll want to, over time, that's something that you'll build out. You just need to make sure that when you do it, that your audience still stays fairly broad, that it doesn't become too narrow. Because if it's narrow, it starts to, it's just you won't get as good results. But hashtag interactions are going to be super important. Again, at the beginning, it's not really something you have a ton of information about. Maybe you do. Maybe you could go through your competitors' videos and look at all the people that are commenting on theirs, and you could build out a list of hashtags or of people who are interacting with their posts. So in terms of bidding strategy for optimization goal, we do purchases. We found that seems to be like the most cost effective. And then we select maximum delivery. Because we want to go ahead and spend our whole budget. At least starting out, so we can start to get as much data as we can. Once you start to get a little bit more targeted with your audience, you can change it to cost cap, and so that's going to help to keep your ad costs down a little bit. You could start out as the standard delivery type, but if you find that your reach isn't getting out there, that you're not able to spend your whole budget in a day, you could change that to accelerated and see if that helps. So a lot of these things when it comes to ads is it's going to be super product specific. It's going to be super niche specific. And so it's one of those things where, right now we're just going to go over like the general setup, but over time, as you start to dig in the data more, you'll start to pull out, information about your audience, which is going to help you become better at your ads. And you're also going to, understand, what type of ads work best for your product and audience that you're targeting. Okay. The other thing that you can do is day parting. So you can run it, just during certain days of the week for certain hours. Um, this can be an effective strategy once you narrow in on who your audience is. But what we found is the time of day and the days during the week is going to vary by each influencer and by each of the different products that you sell. And so this is one of those things where it's not like, oh, if you do, Monday through Friday from like 4 to 6 o'clock, that's going to be best. It could be for some of your influencers, but not for others. Um, we have an influencer that we've been working with for a while, and he's a truck driver. He does a great job selling products for us. Um, but because he's a truck driver and most people that follow him are also truck drivers, they tend to work odd hours. So, if we were to do day parting on his ads, it would be very, very different than like your standard or typical influencer. Um, and so that's one of those things where this is something that you'll learn over time is days and times of week that work best for each of the different influencers that you're working with to promote your products that you're selling. So you'll fill out all that information, you'll click next, and then from here, what you're going to do is um, you're going to choose the influencer, right? So you'll have a bunch of different influencers here, and you'll be able to select the influencer whose post you want to boost through the Spark ads. And then right, after you select your influencer, you'll click right here and you'll select the post that you want that they did for you, which one you want to boost. And then lastly, you click right here to add the product. And what we recommend is just just promoting the SKU that's in the video, right? You could add multiple products, but it's probably going to hurt your click-through rate, or if you're promoting a different product than what they're or if you're advertising a different product than what they're promoting in the video, it's just not gonna connect. And so, our recommendation is just promote the SKU in the video, and set up an ad for each one of the different SKUs that you want to be promoting. Um, so that's it. This is the process to set up the ad is relatively simple. It doesn't take too much time. When you start out, just go very general, very generalized. Let let TikTok's algorithm push your ad. Let it see what happens. So what we do on our posts, and when we determined when to run ads, is we'll have an influencer post, and if that video starts to do well and isn't being picked up by the algorithm, then we boost it. So part of the magic of our success is understanding TikTok's algorithm and using the algorithm with paid ads in order to get almost all of our videos to go viral. So a ton of our content that we have created these days is getting, 1 to 5 million views. We've had content get as high as 24 million views, and it's still climbing, it's still counting, it still goes up. And so you want to take the content that performs well organically and boost that. So if an influencer were to post today and that video starts to take off, let it run, you know, for a day or two organically. And if it continues to do well, then boost it. And the magic comes from combining a boosted post with something that's already performing well organically. And that's how we're able to consistently create viral content, video after video after video. Because what's going to happen is you'll boost it and it's going to increase that reach even further, increase the engagement even further. And then when the boost dies, it still is running off of that organicness of the algorithm that's still pushing it. And so you can continue to boost it as long as you want. You can go back and boost posts that are 6-12 months old, and it can revive them and it can help increase their reach organically as well. So one thing that you probably is asking yourself is, well, if I paid an influencer to post and then I'm boosting it, aren't they going to be making commission on everything I'm running paid ads on? And the answer is no. They used to, but TikTok listened to the brands that that are selling on their platform. And so anything that is any sales that come from paid ads, the influencer does not make a commission on. They only make a commission on the organic sales. So using paid ads is a great strategy to increase your reach, to help you sell a lot more products, and it's going to help you become a lot more successful. Again, everything when starting an online business, it all comes down to testing. So it's start general and over time slowly narrow things down. Narrow your audience. But focus on coming up with those hashtag interactions, understanding who that audience is, um, and just test, 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 and test. Because that's really what it takes to become successful. Because every product, every audience, every niche is going to be different. And what works great for me from a targeting standpoint may not work the exact same for you. But what we do know is that the hashtag interactions is a great way to building up very cost effective ads. So I hope you guys found this insightful. And if you have any questions, like always, let us know. We're here to help you. We want you to be successful, and we know that you can by following the steps that we've taught in these videos here for you.